Okay, everybody, so one of the things I'm going to show you today is the debris shelter. And I think that's probably the easiest and quickest one most people know about. A debris shelter is literally what it sounds like. It's made from debris. Now, it is actually a pretty efficient shelter if you build it correctly. Now, I'm going to show you the design idea here. And we actually have an older one on the property that fell apart. It's in really bad shape. I'm going to rebuild it from the ground up so that it's a little more efficient. It's kind of ready for winter. We'll see if I use it in the winter or not, though. Can, absolutely. It's actually harder to find an older shelter that's in disrepair and rebuild it than to start anew, believe it or not. Starting new means you've thought about it, you've got the materials, you work from the ground up, and as long as you're paying attention, you can make it borderline perfect for you when it's done. Using older materials that are rotten and stuff can put you at a disadvantage, and it means you got to look around and sometimes do a little bit more work, but I'm willing to do that for you. So this right here is a blowdown, as you can see, and pretty straightforward. A debris shelter is when you take a tree that's already down and safe, not a widowmaker so to speak, but it's braced on both ends, or you cut down a log or a tree that's the right length for you, and it's going to go at an angle from the ground up to a pitchfork or brace, and then you rib it. So you can see, of course, there's these branches back here, right, that grew in naturally. You would cut or break the branches to layer on it, kind of like an A-frame if you look at it in one aspect. Once you've gotten that done, you then layer it with debris. You find branches, pine needles, kind of anything you can to put that blanket over it to stop the wind, some of the rain, the moisture, ideally. In my opinion, if you have a tarp, I always recommend putting the tarp, well, I guess it depends. Traditionally, I put the top first, then I put sticks on it, and then I cover it because that puts a water barrier and it really helps with heat control. You can always put it on the outside, meaning when you're all done. But remember, you don't want to put anything that's going to tear it or rip your tarp. You want to minimize the damage as much as possible in case you're going to be out there for a long time. So again, it's pretty simple. You know, you would go right down the sides with it, both sides. If you've got cordage, definitely use it to tie in the braces to make it nice and secure. Now, the big thing you got to remember with these is that you're trying to conserve body heat. So the tighter it is to you and you being inside, the better. You want a small pocket for the air to be in. You don't want to be actually up against the material much because that material could be cold and it could pull warmth from you. But the idea is to make sure that you don't have too much airflow because air moving will pull heat away. And a lot of people who use these have been nice and warm even at below temperatures in them. Their body heat, their sleeping bag, a little tarp to lay on, something to keep the moisture off of them, can work out pretty well. And when you're mobile, these are great because you can throw them together pretty quick, or you find something that's already kind of a shelter and you touch it up just for the night and then you move on the next day. Could these be long-term? I mean, maybe. I guess I could see people doing that. But at some point, you probably want a little more room and to make it a little more efficient for the different weather that comes in. So let's get to it. Okay, everybody. So this is what I'm starting with. Now, you can probably tell it's in pretty bad shape. The end had actually rotted out. A lot of the sticks were bad. So I'm going to start by going through and removing all of the support braces that are no longer viable. That really just wouldn't support weight. And again, weight could be the material. A lot of this material is no good anymore, so I'm going to scrape that out. And then I'm going to rebuild it so that the angle is correct, that all the wood is good to go, and we will have something we can slide into and stay warm. So check back in a bit. Okay, so we have stripped and we have managed to re-brace this. You can probably tell, you can see the sticks look quite a bit different. We've removed a bunch of the ones that were too short or too rotten. We found and redone the hitch on the front to make it a little more stable for extra weight. And now we're going to go down through retying the back and we'll start relayering. Okay, so looks like we've made a good deal of progress so far. You can tell here, move my head out of the way. Oop, there it is. So it looks a lot different. Okay. One of the parts people sometimes forget is you got to climb inside and actually check. You got to check. You really got to check to see if you've got all the holes covered. So I'm going to climb inside, and I don't think I'll bring the camera. I'll try. I'll think about it, but it's kind of dark in there. But I want to make sure that I've layered things, and then I'm going to get some more new material and put that on as well. All right, so you can see there's quite a lot of light getting in. Some of it's not too bad, but the next layer is going to really bring that all together. A couple pieces in the back I'm going to have to redo, but that's where your feet go. So the idea is, of course, your feet go down there, your head goes to the top. This is big enough for an adult or a kid to get in. Again, you want to be cozy. So let's go build our next layer and get busy. Okay, here we are. Now I haven't finished doing the door yet. It's over here. But I'll work on that a little bit later on, just to have a buffer in case it's windy out. But I've gotten a lot of the light taken care of, and this right here will work just fine for a first night climbing inside. Just enough room for me to snuggle in and get cozy. My feet can go back actually quite a bit more if I want them to. See? You know, if it was to rain, I would definitely get a little wet, but that's why you have supplies for that. But for a throw together debris shelter, this is a really good start. It's something I could definitely use for one night or more, weather permitting, and then I would tweak it each day. So I could go out and get more materials, I could relayer this. And if you're going to be out for extended periods of time, you will be constantly fixing your shelter. It's not something you throw up and that's it. You're always working on fixing, mending, resupplying, things of that nature. So it's a lot of work, but this right here, I mean, granted the ground's a little soaked, hey, that's okay. Doable. I could absolutely stay in this tonight. With some more work, I could do this in the winter as well. Maybe not be the most comfortable, that's okay. So, nothing like the smell of earth and nature. Outstanding. All right, on to the next one.